Okay, cool. I really like the topic that you've picked. It's one of my favorite ones. So if I can tell you a bit about what I mean when I say that, um, it's that it has a lot to do with actually a meditation through the body, and it has to do with discovering symbols and unexpected occurrences within the body, and then sort of working with those and also seeing how they translate. So once you find them and you transcribe them, you record them, then we can kind of come out of the meditation and discuss what they might mean and how they might be useful to you, basically.
Yeah, sounds good.
Nice. Nice. Do you have any questions or thoughts before we begin?
No questions, just like I guess like a sharing on also like my experience with that. Like obviously from mostly from the perspective of um visual art, because I'm primarily a painter.
Right.
It's really this kind of presence to literal sensations in my body. And I
Nice.
think it takes a couple of minutes to tune into that, and then you can kind of like start seeing things from with your not eyes.
Totally.
And then you literally just like kind of like paint that and express that, and that's something that's like very easily accessible to me when it comes to visual art. With poetry it comes a little bit harder. So there's like several layers of translation from like from pure energetics to visual to language to the English language and then
Yeah.
to English language that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there's
Totally.
protracted process, which is lovely, but also like it's hard. Like it's harder for me. Like painting is just like you just paint. I'm sure like for I don't know what it's like for you, but you might have the opposite experience. But
Yeah, in a way, yeah, I do think it has there are different types of brains and different types of like you're maybe more, it's more natural to you to communicate visually than it would be for me. Like for me, the words come very naturally.
Mm,
But you are totally right in the fact that it is an enormous amount of translation, and it's almost like the formless becomes formed and it has a name and it becomes particularly something when you add a word to it.
yeah,
Whereas the energetic visual, it's all very close together, and it's still open to interpretation and sensation.
it, to me, there's something really delicious about like just like the rawness of the
Yeah,
visual.
let's get into it if you're ready.
Yeah, let's.
Great. So this is going to be the beginning is going to be quite meditative. I'm going to guide you into into your body and to the sensations of that you're having right now. Um, and it's going to be the kind of meditation where you can come in and out. So if you have like something to write in front of you, um, just to sort of take notes of your experience as you're going along. And we're going to do almost like a zooming in process. Once we find something, we're going to zoom into it and we're going to try to describe it with language straight away, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then we'll take it from there. We'll see what happens and we'll take it from there.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, great. So if you just get comfortable, so you're not holding tension in your body and you're not holding your body up necessarily, you're just kind of relaxed. And you're also feeling the support of the chair, and you can even extend that to feeling the support of the room around you, the air around you, the support of this context that we've created together, like a little bubble of warmth around you. And take your time to get settled in. You don't really have to force or work really hard to get anywhere. And just feel what your body feels like right now. we're going to turn our mind humble to the perspective of the body, to the language of the body, and to the sensations of the body. So just first feel the density of your body. Feel how dense and present it is, how solid it is. You can even feel your bones. How matter of fact they are. They are really just there. Feel the weight of your body. And notice how it's moved in a very subtle way with your breath coming in and out. There's all these subtle movements. Don't force yourself to feel any specific kind of way. You don't need to feel relaxed or just feel as you feel right now. Now, pay attention to any kind of energetic sensations inside your body. Like, where is the most obvious sensation inside your body? This could be a physical pain or like an energetic fluttering, or that you feel, maybe you feel your chest or your belly, or you have a pain somewhere. That's where is your attention being pulled inside your body? And just go and settle in that sensation for a bit, just to observe it. With every exhale, you can settle deeper into that sensation. And you can start to ask yourself, what kind of a sensation is this? What kind of characteristics does it have? Textural characteristics, like, is it fast? Is it slow? Is it fluttering? Is it electric? Like, what kind of adjectives would you say accurately describe this sensation? And then you can maybe even start to see visuals. Maybe you already do, but like, what kind of a color does this sensation have? What does it visually look like? And if you're also getting very little information, that's also information. So if you're getting numbness or quiet or a lack of color, that's also part of it. And now, once you're done there, just observing, let's go to a very quiet part of your body. This might be like on the edge of your pinky, or your knee, somewhere less visited, somewhere with less traffic. And again, we're going to ask ourselves the same question. What kind of a sensation is there here? How would you describe the sensation here? And then also, what kind of visuals are you seeing, even if it's just a dull color? What color is it? What visual cues can you imagine here? And when you're done there, I want you to say to your body, take me to the center of my being. Take me to the center of my being and notice what happens. Are you taken fast? Are you taken slow? Is there insecurity or is there certainty in the movement? And where do you go? What is it like there? What visual symbols do you see? And what sensations do you see? I'll give you a bit of time to describe that also in writing. The center of your being. What is it like to be pulled to the center of your being? And then find a way to sort of wrap up what you're writing for now. And we're going to go on one more, we're going to ask one more question to the body and go on one more exploration. So go to the center of your being, be in the center of your being, and ask your body, what do you need me to see right now? Or is there anything you need me to see right now? And see what happens. Again, how are you pulled? How is the response? And where do you go? Take your time to explore this with writing. Sometimes even the act of writing may trigger further imagery or help the image open up. Is there anything you need me to see right now? Whenever you feel like you're done, just look up at me and we can close the. All right. So just say thank you to your body. Just say thank you very much. Just give yourself a bit of love and feel yourself come back like you're drifting from underwater back up to the surface. And take your time to kind of come back to the room, back to your more conscious mind. And just have a little, yeah, have a little look over what you wrote. And we can talk about it.
Well, I was writing while my eyes were closed, so I can't read anything I wrote.
Okay.
All right.
You want to take your time to pick out some things that you wrote.
Well, let's go backwards from.
Mm-hmm.
So the main message that I got towards the end was to keep walking the path.
Mm,
And there was very much, I mean, earlier I talked about overwhelm. There was certainly an experience of overwhelm while I was
mm, mm,
in meditation. And I can kind of feel like when you talked about going, well, where is the essence of you? I
mm.
went very immediately like into my kind of like sacral womb area.
Nice.
And the
Hmm.
sensation was like it was as immediate and as slow as jumping into a pool of water. Floating water, it's warm, it's quiet, it's still. There was a lot of
Mm,
emotions that came through, and
mm,
it wasn't any particular one, it was all of them all at once. Like,
mm,
there was, well, maybe not all of them, but there was grief and sadness was very
mm,
prominent. There was also
mm,
joy, and there was also a lot of, there was a little bit of fear and anxiety.
mm,
There was a tiny bit of irritation and kind of, well, not irritation, like real deep anger, like experience of overwhelm that wanted to kind of rise
mm,
up from my body. And
mm,
I feel it in my solar plexus, in my heart, in
mm,
my throat in particular.
mm,
And then there was like, I felt my ancestors kind of like come into the energetic field.
mhm,
They're not all very noble, I've got to say. Like some of them
mhm,
are hinged as hell. And so there was
mhm,
a lot of that kind of like destabilizing energy that I felt as well as they kind of
mm,
like came in.
mm,
And there was also a sense that they were there to support,
mm,
but some of them aren't inherently like don't have a
mm,
strong presence. Um,
mm.
they feel quite destabilizing sometimes.
You also have some things that connect, like what you said about your ancestors and what you said about the emotions, that there were a lot of different emotions and some beautiful and some difficult. Was
Mm,
connects a little bit with what you said about your ancestors there. And in general, it's like you're painting a picture of overwhelm. Like there's a lot of different influences internally. And
mm,
then you have this water, this emotional, feminine, like ancient water that seeps into the soil. So there's like a grounding
mm,
happening. There's so much in there, actually, Rafi. There's so much to deal with. So what I would do, let's say, as a second step from here,
mm,
we can do a little bit now, is like a digestion through free writing. So
mm-hmm,
you're basically like exploring what you experienced through free writing. You don't know where it's going to end up.
mm,
And you get to kind of like maybe have 10 minutes to sort of roam around back in that consciousness, but through your conscious mind now. So
mm.
we're not going back into the meditation space. You are asking yourself certain questions maybe, or just revisiting certain places that could do with your observation again. Does that make sense as a good step?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, great.
Might have to
Also,
get some visuals out of the way.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Go with what pulls you. If you need to, yeah,
Yeah.
if you need to describe things, do that.
Mhm.
And I'll let you know when the time is up. Oh, and one other thing that you said that really stuck out to me was you said that it was the energy was coming up and out of the throat, which
Mhm.
is interesting because now we're doing writing. It's all very like communication, throat stuff. So what I would ask yourself in the free writing when you get there is If you had let it spill out of your throat, what would have spilled out? What would you like to say, kind of? Okay, so 1 minute left. All right. How was that?
Um, it felt a lot like a dialogue.
Hmm.
Where I'm in conversation with someone, something, actually people. I'm in conversation with a group of people. There's so
Hmm.
it's a little bit cryptic at some point. Um, and there were some repeated phrases as well,
Hmm.
and almost like instructions. It's a kind of, I don't know what for, but instructions for life.
Hmm.
um,
Isn't
yeah.
it isn't it interesting how like these conversations can occur and that they're so real? They're
Mm,
very like they are 100% real. You're not imagining them. It is a real conversation
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
happening internally. What kind of who are you talking to, do you think?
Ancestors for sure, for sure. Um, there's kind of certain quality to the voices I can hear, and this is kind of also where the translation piece comes in because it's like the communication itself isn't linguistic,
Hmm.
and then I have to translate it to the closest
Hmm.
language, which is and then kind of like translate it again. And
And what do they have to share with you as a kind of overview?
as an over, I mean, I picked out certain repeating phrases that
Hmm.
kept coming because there was definitely that. Um, and then there's this open kept happening. So there was,
Hmm.
like eyes open, don't just look, see. And then the phrase that I said earlier kind of got picked up to see with your not eyes.
Hmm.
And there was also heart open and lead your people by seeing, not knowing.
Hmm.
And, receiving, not acquiring.
Hmm.
There were these distinctions being made,
Hmm.
like these things sound the same in language, but they're not. There's a very different energetic frequency.
Hmm.
And again, it kept repeating, keep walking the path.
Hmm.
Um, and then it talked about, kind of like become whole again.
Hmm.
Um, you you are one and you are all. One means all. Many is an illusion.
Hmm.
And yeah, and it talked about that again, see with your not eyes kept repeating.
Hmm.
So that was quite
Hmm. It's really interesting how the quality of the message is very different in this exercise than it was in the last one. In the
mm-hmm,
in the meditation, it was fragments
mm,
and visual and quite abstract. And then when you go to the free writing, it became very conversational.
mm.
And yeah, what do you think about this transition? How did you feel it?
Yeah, it was the energetic frequency feels the same, but like it's
Mm-hmm.
gone through that kind of like translation process.
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah, and it's kind of like, like sometimes when I'm painting
Mm-hmm.
and people are like, I kind of have to explain to people at school what is it because it's abstract, and I'm like, well, it's instructional.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like I'm like it's instructional, and people are looking at me like it's blobs, it's a potato. Um, it was really interesting when you were talking about focusing on this energy rising up and wanting to come out through the throat,
Uh-huh.
and that kind of like more vocal linguistic expression. And there's a comfort in staying somewhat in the abstract, in staying in the internal experience, because there's no kind of like, there's a part of me that almost experiences language as a demand to make people understand. If my paintings were misunderstood, then that's fair enough because they're
Mm-hmm.
abstract pieces.
Yes.
Whereas if my language were misunderstood, then somehow that means something about my ability to communicate, my self-expression, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and the kind of like the wounds of being misunderstood that
Mm-hmm.
you can track back to whenever.
Yeah, I think you're definitely not alone in what you're saying. That's a very common thing around language. One of blockages around language is how do I express, because the things that you're saying are also very important to you, and
Mm,
and they're within you. You are fully understood, and maybe even the unique way that you see the world is fully understood. And then when you expose that, it becomes a very vulnerable, and those things become exposed
yeah,
and at risk of being ridiculed and all this kind of stuff.
yeah, 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 yeah. There's something here about lead your people by seeing, not by knowing.
Mm.
They don't need to know what you're talking about. They just need to see you. Okay, like that kind of alleviates some of the pressure.
That's
And
very beautiful.
yeah, and it's this kind of like the receiving of knowledge versus the acquisition of knowledge.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Like
kind
not to go out and get it, but to lean back into it.
yeah, right. And actually allowing people to do that
Yeah.
by developing my own freedom in
Mm.
expression, and my own kind of like release from the shackles of needing to be understood.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think it's not the understanding, it's the knowing, and or the knowing that is of essence, is the seeing and is the being seen.
Yes, totally. I think that's where all of this thing with writing ends up in, is that once you can really allow yourself to be seen and really allow yourself to be
Mm,
express, then the people needing to understand it fades away. It doesn't become, yeah, it's not about understanding. They see beyond also your words to the energetic, then the loop closes back to the energetic.
exactly, and there's a kind of like see with your not eyes kind
Yeah.
of uh thing that kept coming up.
I mean, all of this can evolve over time, and it does need time to evolve. The more you, so everything that you wrote in this, in your free writing, you can evolve by asking further questions, like what does it mean to see and not know? All of these are portals and doorways into further knowing that you could get to through creative writing if you wanted to. So there's plenty of material there to develop. If you like, you can make like a condensed version or go through a sort of process and make a little piece of writing that we could include with this video or with something
Yeah, yeah,
as
yeah.
like a
Happy to.
result.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Great.
Sounds good.
It's gonna take about 2 weeks for your episode to come out, so you have time. You have
Uh-huh.
until then.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
Great.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and thank you.